and welcome to all of my Pilates students, family, friends and strangers during the COVID-19 pandemic. My name is Henriette and today is going to be one of 6 sessions where I will be taking you through 5 different Pilates exercises and showing you how to play around with each exercise to adjust it slightly, to make it a tiny little bit easier, or maybe to bring in a little bit of challenge. None of them are very advanced, so hopefully all of you would be able to join in and have fun with me on this. Great, so the first one we'll be doing is the abdominal curl. So I will suggest you watch the first exercise and then join in with me. You'll be lying down on your back. Have your palms facing down and slightly away from the side of the waist. This is just going to help you to relax your shoulders a little bit as well. Make sure that if your head is a little bit more in a forward position, that you do support your head with a towel or a small pillow. From this position, make sure that you are in neutral spine. So let's just quickly cover what that means. When you arch your spine away from the floor, so if you see it from the side, you'll see that there's lots of space. That is arching away. And then when you press the spine flat down onto the floor, onto the mat, that is called your imprinted spine. And then when you relax, not arching or imprinting, that should be your neutral spine. That's just one way of looking at it. Every Pilates instructor will teach you different ways of looking at it. But we'll keep it simple, we'll use that one. Let's arch away, tilting the pelvis forwards. And then we're going to imprint it and flatten it down. Think of it as lengthening away from you. Lengthening your tailbone away from the crown of the head. And then relax. So we stay in a relaxed, neutral position, palms facing down. The first thing I want you to do is think about tilting the chin towards the chest, so we lengthen the back of the neck. And as we exhale, just curl the upper spine away from the floor until you can feel your weight on your shoulder blades. You are looking straight through towards your inner thighs, and your hands is just sliding down towards the end of your mat or towards your ankles. From here, just uncurl and go back into your start position. Okay? So get into position and let's do 5 together. First, we're going to inhale and tilt the chin towards the chest. Exhale, curl the upper spine away from the floor. Slide the hands on the carpet towards your ankles. Inhale, hold while looking towards your inner thighs. And then release. 4 more. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, slide and curl forward. Inhale, hold. And then release. 3 to go. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, curl the upper spine away. Feel the fingers sliding towards the ankles. Inhale, hold. Release. And last 2. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, curl forwards. Slide the fingers towards the ankles. Inhale. And then release. Now what makes this exercise feel slightly different is when you lift the arms, turn the palms up towards the ceiling. So this is going to give you a nice open shoulder. And we'll do exactly the same. 5 of these with the arms in a different position. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, curl away from the mat. This time your arms is hovering above the floor. Try not to pull them into the sides of the waist because that sort of locks up into the shoulders. So just feel how different it feels when your arms is slightly apart and away from your waist. And then release it back down. We're going to do 4 more. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale. Inhale. And then release. 3 more. Chin to chest. Exhale, curl forward. Make sure you're still in your neutral spine. Inhale. And then release. 2 to go. Chin to chest. Exhale, hover the arms. Reach them nice and long. Slightly V position with the arms here. Inhale. and then release. And last one, inhale, chin to chest. Make sure your shoulder stays relaxed, arms is hovering. Exhale, curl away from the floor. Make sure that you still stay nice and relaxed and wide and open in the shoulders. Inhale, hold, and then release. Good. Okay. Now, what makes this exercise a little bit harder is when we bring in leg lifts. So as we're going to curl, we're going to bring in a single leg curl, leg lift. Ready? Or maybe you just want to watch first. Inhale and exhale. As you go forward, you're going to just lift one leg up in what we call a tabletop position. So your knee is right over your hip and your shin is parallel to the ground. And then release it back down, and next time we're going to lift the opposite leg. So let's do 3 leg lifts on each side. So that's going to give us 6 ab curls. Ready? Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, lift the left leg up into tabletop. Inhale, hold, and then release. Next we're going to lift the right leg. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, right leg. Inhale, hold, and then release. Of course, the challenge is to still stay neutral spine. So ensure that you keep that neutral spine and you're not pressing down through the lower spine when you lift and curl. And lift on the left. Check your neutral spine. Inhale. And then release. Exhale, curl. Lift the right leg. Inhale, hold. Release. And then we're going to do one more on each side. Exhale and curl, lifting the left leg. Inhale and lower. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, lift and curl. Inhale and then release. Well done. We're going to do the next exercise now. This is extension. So this is taking the back into an extended position, and we'll be lying down on our tummies. So roll around, and the first is going to be the easiest version of this extension. So when you do extension exercises, make sure that your tummy muscles is lifting, your tailbone is tucking down slightly, because we want to remain in a neutral spine here. We don't want to sort of pinch when we come up into extension and feel tightness and pain in the lower spine. So your tailbone is tucking down, your tummy muscles is lifting up. We just have the hands out in front of us like this. Forehead is resting down. You can watch first if you need to. The first variation here is just pressing your palms down into the floor, drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears, and then release it down. Keep the tummy muscles engaged. Keep your pelvic floor muscles engaged. Exhale and lift. So you just want to feel that extension in your upper spine, your thoracic spine, shoulders away from ears. And then release. Let's do 4 more. Tummy engaged, pelvic floor engaged, and press down into the palms. You can also press down into your elbows, but draw the shoulders away from the ears. And feel as if you're lengthening forwards through the crown of the head. And then release. And 3 to go. And lift. Length in the spine, elongating the spine. Lots of space between its vertebrae. And then release. And last 2. So it's not about how high you lift, but about the length in the body. And then release. And exhale. Last version here. And then release. So we change it slightly. We bring in a little bit of weight by just changing the arms. So bring the arms by the sides of the waist. Rest them down. Rest the forehead down. So you can watch first. Make sure your pelvic floor and your tummy muscles is engaged. And then from here, you're going to lift your shoulders, pull the shoulder blades together, and then lift the upper body. And you can just bring the palms in, facing towards the body. This is called a dart, also a variation of the breaststroke exercise. So depending on who you're you practice your Pilates with, they will all call this a different name. And then release it back down. And again, exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the shoulders, lengthen the fingers and the arms down towards the ankles. Again, you don't want to feel any tension here in your lower spine, so tuck the tailbone under, pull the tummy muscles, engage your pelvic floor muscles, and then release. Let's do last 3. Exhale. Inhale, hold. Release. On the next exhalation, lift into your dart position. Nice upper body extension here. Again, feeling length from the tips of the toes, stretching away from the crown of the head. Arms are long by the sides of the waist. And then release. And one more. Lifting up, lengthening forwards. Tummy engaged, pelvic floor engaged. Lots of length here. And then release. Good. So we're just going to bring in a little bit of challenge by moving the arms, keeping the rest of the body really still, just moving the arms. So the arms is going to be a little pulsing action here. So I want to see the upper body moving with the arms. The head stays in line with the spine. The shoulder stays lifted. It's not the shoulders moving either. It's just that arm lifting, pumping up into the air. So come into your dart position, engage your tummy muscles, tuck down with your tailbone. There's going to be a little bit of activation here into your gluteal muscles. Reach the toes away from the crown of the head. And let's pulse up for 10. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's relax it back down. Soften all the muscles, switch them all off. On the next exhalation, let's come back into our dart position. Tailbone tucking down, tummy muscles is lifted, lots of length. Palms facing up, shoulders is moving away from the ears. And let's go for another 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then relax. Look towards the other side of the head. Switch all the muscles off. And then come back into your dart pose. And again, check in with the tummy muscles, the pelvic floor muscles. Tailbone is tucking down, legs are long, whole body is long. And palms facing up. Let's do another 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Now bring your hands into your chest, tuck your toes under and press down into the palms and in your knees. The next exercise, and we normally use this a little bit more as transition from one exercise to another, or a little stretch and a rest in between, and it's called the child's pose. So for a lot of people, the child's pose is going to feel really uncomfortable because the knees are not going to like the deep flexion. So there's different variations you can do. So the easiest version of a child's pose is maybe keep the toes tucked under and then stay quite high up with the upper body and then just stretching out like this. So you're getting a little bit of length here in the back of the spine, the muscles on either side of the spine, and we're just reaching out like this. You can have the toes tucked under, or you can have the toes just stretched out in this position. But that's going to let you sink in deeper into knee flexion. So for easy version, and also getting a little bit of movement in your toes, tuck it under and just reaching the arms long. Deep breath into the sides of your rib cage. Good. So to make this a little bit deeper, you untuck the toes. Now you take your bottom all the way down towards your heels. And from here, you just sink down a little bit lower, but there's a slight adjustment with your hands. You're going to have your palms facing up and then release it down, chest and head down towards the floor. This will get not just into the muscles on either side of the spine, but also your bigger muscle in the back, your lats, latissimus dorsi muscle. By doing this external rotation with your arms, this lat muscle attaches onto the arm bone, so that's just helping that muscle in the back to stretch out a little bit more. Deep breath into the sides of the ribcage. And then slowly roll the spine back up. And one other version, which is lovely to get a stretch deep inside of the hips, is taking the knees out a little bit wider. You can do this in the variation where you have your toes tucked under as well. And then get into a lovely wide knee stretch position. So this will also get into your inner thighs. So you can have your toes tucked under. So try this version first. Get some good flexion into those big toes. And you can have your head resting on the floor, or you can have a big pillow for your head to rest on that. Whatever you need, and make sure to adjust. Untuck the toes and then sink the chest in down towards the mat. Good. Whatever variation you do there, do about 3 to 4 deep breaths into the sides of the rib cage, or try 1 or 2 breaths in each variation of those. The next one we'll be doing is the hundreds exercise. So the hundreds exercise is good for endurance in the abdominal muscles, and we're using a pulsing action for the arms here as well. So to make this a little bit easier, we're just going to practice the arm pulsing. So we come back onto our backs and we are doing the abdominal curls. So chin to chest, and maybe just watch this one first. And then we're going to curl forwards into the abdominal curl. And from here, with not moving anything in the body, we're just doing a pulsing action here. So neck is stabilized, shoulders are stabilized, shoulder blades is stable, hips is stable, and hips are in neutral position. So we're going to pulse 5 times up and then 5 times down with the palms. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So if at any point there your neck is getting really sore, relax the head down, and it will just continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to get back into it, then just come back into your ab curl and join in with the breathing. Okay, with the counting. We're not going to do the breath yet. Now, it's called the hundreds because when you do 5 in breaths and 5 out breaths as one set, and you repeat it 10 times, you've done 100 breaths. And that's why it's called 100. The 100 exercise. So let's all get into our ab curl position. Stay neutral. Look through your inner thighs. Let's start with 5 pulses with the palms up, 5 pulses with the palms down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. So that was 50. Now we'll bring in the breath. So it's a staccato breath. It's a short inhalation, short exhalation. I'll just show this to you with my head down. So it's going to be... And we'll do another 50 of those together. So we're not actually doing 100 breaths today, just to make sure that I'm not getting your necks too tired. Okay, so let's do that one together. So we're going to come up into abdominal curl, palms facing up first, and we'll do 5 inhalations and then 5 exhalations with the palms down. Okay, so 5 inhalations pumping up and 5 exhalations pumping down. Ready? And let's start. 1. And relax down. Well done. Okay, so there's going to be one more variation here. And this is when we bring the legs up into tabletop position, and we'll do another 50 of those. So we're going to lift up one leg, lift up the other leg. Check that you're still in your neutral spine. Now, if this is too much for you, take one leg down or take both legs down. So make sure to listen to your body here. Knees are over your hips, and your shins are parallel to the floor. So just imagine a tray with very expensive glasses filled with very expensive champagne resting on your shins. So come up into your abdominal curl. You're still staying in a neutral spine. Palms up, so we're going to inhale pulsing up, exhale pulsing down. We'll do 50 little breaths. Ready? And let's start for 1, and bring the knees into the chest and give yourself a little hug here. Well done. Okay. Now lower one leg and lower the other leg. And use your elbows to come up into a seated position. So the final of the 5 exercises we're doing in this session is the roll down prep exercise. So this is an exercise that helps you understand the movement in going into a full roll down and roll up. We're going to first start with our hands supporting the body as we do this movement. Make sure that your feet are parallel and they are hip distance apart. And from here, we want to feel the sit bones planting down into the mat. Spine is nice and long, so we're looking for shoulders over the hips. The first part of this movement is when you roll off the sit bones onto the soft bits. So that's all you're going to be doing. Roll off your sit bones, and then lengthen the spine, and then come back up onto your sit bones without moving the feet. Ready? So the breathing is sitting tall. Exhale, roll off your sit bones. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back onto your sit bones. Okay, so let's do 5 of these together. Inhale. Roll off. Lengthen. And back onto your sit bones. Inhale long. Exhale, roll. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back onto your sit bones. 2 more. Exhale, roll off. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back onto your sit bones. Inhale, tall. Exhale, roll off your sit bones. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back onto your sit bones. And 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, roll off. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back onto your sit bones. Okay, now to give it a little bit more challenge, we're going to take the hands away from the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And back onto your sit bones. Inhale. Exhale, roll off. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, back nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, roll off. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back onto your sit bones. Last one. Roll off. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, back up onto your sit bones. Well done. Okay, we're going to change the legs slightly. So we're going to take the feet, let them come together like this. Knees are open. Still finding your sit bones. This time palms is facing down. And we're going to exhale. We're going to inhale, lengthen. And then come back up onto your sit bones. So the inner thighs aren't there to help too much. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And come back up onto your sit bones. Again, inhale, tall. Exhale, roll off your sit bones. Inhale, lengthen. And then come back up onto your sit bones. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, tall. Exhale, roll off your sit bones. Inhale, lengthen. And then come back up again. And let's bring in a little bit of a twist. When we're going to roll back off the sit bones, we're just going to pull back with one elbow as we're reaching forwards with the opposite arm. And then come back forwards, stay into that C curve, and then pull back with the opposite elbow. Stay in your C curve and then come back up onto your sit bones. So we're just staying in that C curve position. We're not actually lengthening out. Ready? And sitting tall. Exhale, roll. And pull back with the left. Reach forwards and pull back with the right. Reach forwards and back onto your sit bones. Inhale. And exhale, roll off your sit bones and pull back with the left elbow. Nice rotation. Reach forwards and pull back with the right elbow. And reach forwards and come on to your sit bones. So just let your breath flow here. Inhale. And exhale. Pull left. And pull right. And back onto your sit bones. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Roll off your sit bones and pull left. Reach forwards and pull right. Reach forwards and on to your sit bones. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Pull left. Reach forwards. Pull right. Reach forwards and back up. Good. And then just give yourself a lovely stretch. Reaching your head towards your ankles, towards your heels. Take a deep breath in. And then release it back down, back up. Okay, so that is the first out of 6 sessions covering 5 different Pilates exercises. So we did the ab curl, the breaststroke prep, which is also similar to the dart exercise, the child's pose, the hundreds, and finishing with a roll down prep. I look forward to seeing you in session 2. Thank you very much.